Hello everyone and welcome to my Premier League Game Week 9 score predictions of the 2022/23 season. We've got 4 big rivalry games this week and starting off with the first one to kick off the week, the North London derby, kicking off at the earlier 12:30 time, Arsenal against Tottenham. Both of these sides have been really impressive so far this season. Arsenal are currently top of the table, but only 1 point in it between first and second, with Man City and Tottenham joint second. Currently, both on 17 points. Arsenal leading the way on 18 points. It's going to be a big season this with Arsenal and Tottenham. If they can keep this up all season, then we've got a race for the title on between City, Arsenal and Tottenham. But in this game, I expect there to be goals because derby, you expect loads of goals, lots of heavy tackles in this one. It's going to be a good game, I think. Arsenal, they beat Brentford 3-0 in their last game. Tottenham beat Leicester City 6-2. Both sides showing that they can absolutely hammer their opponents. I'm going to go for a high scorer in this one, but I'm just going to edge it to Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-2 to the Gunners. And I've got to back the home side to win it. In these type of games, in the derbies, it's the home support that's probably going to edge their side over the line, but it's going to be a very good game. 3-2 Arsenal. Last time these two sides did face, actually, it was a 3-0 victory to Tottenham, so it could be something completely different. Anything can happen in these types of games, but I'm going to go for an Arsenal win in this one. Next up, Bournemouth against Brentford. Brentford will want to bounce back from the 3-0 defeat to Arsenal. Bournemouth doing pretty well with their new manager in charge. I mean, they got a 1-1 draw against Newcastle United last time out. Prior to that, they beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. So they've certainly improved, but of course there is that obvious new manager bounce that teams just get, because obviously the oppositions don't know what style of play the manager's going to play. But then obviously depending on how good the manager is, they usually get found out. I'm going to back Brentford to win this one. I'm going to go 3-0. That's a really tough one to predict, that, because obviously, as I said, Bournemouth's new style of play. Brentford, they need to bounce back and pick up 3 points. Bournemouth have been looking really good recently, so it's going to be very tricky. But I'm going to back the Bees in this one. Ivan Toney scoring loads of goals at the moment, so maybe a hat-trick in this game or a brace, and I'm going to go 3-0 Brentford. Maybe a bit too high, but we'll stick with it. And then it is Crystal Palace against Chelsea, which is our next derby game, London derby here between Crystal Palace and Chelsea, obviously the two London clubs. It'll be a very tight game. Chelsea, obviously, we're going to see the new manager, Graham Potter, in charge for the first time. Of course, these two sides didn't play their fixtures last week. It was they were postponed. Chelsea's game with Liverpool and Palace's game with Brighton. In this one, I'm going to back a Chelsea victory, but it'll be very narrow. I'll go 1-0. It'll be very tight. I think Palace this season, obviously, they've only picked up the 1 win so far. They can score a goal, but then also it just depends on if they can break down a Chelsea defence, where obviously there's going to be a new manager bounce for them as well, Potter coming in. I think Chelsea would just get by and they'll pick up all 3 points. Next up is Fulham against Newcastle United. Fulham having a really good season. Newcastle United need to be turning those draws into wins. Only the 1 win and 1 defeat so far for Newcastle, but 5 draws in there. They're turning into the Preston North End and the West Bromwich Albion of the Premier League here. At Craven Cottage here, Mitrovic is going to be facing his old club. Will he score against them? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to go for a little bit of a shock result here. Fulham have been absolutely superb this season, especially at home. I'm going to go 2-0 Fulham here. I really don't think Newcastle will be able to cope in this game. I'm going to back Mitrovic to score against his old club. And look, Fulham have just been looking really, really good this season. They beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 in their last game. And, well, yeah, they are conceding, but I just feel like at home against the Newcastle side who, is a tricky opponent, but can't seem to get away with only drawing games. I mean, the only win came on the first day of the season. Since then, nothing. So I'm going to back Fulham to pick up all 3 points in this one. Shock result. Okay, next up is Liverpool against Brighton. Of course, no Graham Potter for Brighton. He's now managing Chelsea. Liverpool still maybe could have a tricky patch. Liverpool didn't play their game last week. Obviously, that was postponed, the game with Chelsea. But their last result was a 0-0 draw with Everton. And, so far this season, they haven't really, challenged or looked likely to challenge like Manchester City for the title or whoever's in the title race. Brighton, currently in 4th place in the Premier League table. And, it was a bit of a shock when, obviously, Tuchel got sacked by Chelsea, but then also Potter leaving Brighton to join Chelsea. I know maybe you could say club with a bigger history, but Brighton are currently doing better than Chelsea. Of course, you've got the new manager bounce, thing again for Brighton. I'm going to go 1-1 in this one. Brighton have been look really good this season. They've popped up and got results where no one expected them to do. They've only picked up the 1 defeat so far this season. That was the 2-1 defeat to Fulham. But Liverpool, I know they're at home at Anfield and they probably may just edge it like 2-1 or something, but I'm going to go 1-1. It'll be a tight game, maybe another shock result here. Next up, Southampton against Everton, where Everton finally got their first win of the season. Last time out, it was a 1-0 victory over West Ham United. Both Everton and West Ham haven't had the greatest of starts to the season so far. Southampton at home in this one, so I'm going to back the home side. It was a 2-0 victory to Southampton last time these two sides faced. I'll back Everton to score. Southampton being a bit mixed as they normally are, but at home in this game, I fancy them to pick up all 3 points against an Everton side which will look to capitalise on that last victory that they did get. I think Southampton will pick up all 3 points, and they are in need of a win as well. 2 defeats in their last games. So, yeah, I'll go 2-1 to Southampton. Next up is West Ham against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Both sides not doing the best. Obviously, West Ham lost 1-0 to Everton in their last game. Wolves, they lost 3-0 to Manchester City. I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw in this one. Maybe West Ham could just nick it in a 1-0 victory. I don't think there'll be a load of goals in this game. And I'll just go for what. There's going to have to be one game that's going to end 0-0 once in a while. I think maybe this one is that game. So I'll go 0-0. And then straight from a boring 0-0 into the Manchester derby. Manchester City against Manchester United. Man United have won 4 of their last 4 games. It's going to be a tricky one coming into this game. Obviously, Man City, I said, just beat Wolves 3-0 in their last game. Man United didn't play. Their fixture was postponed. Man City, the favourites for this one, but I just don't know. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, high-scoring draw in this one. Back both sides to pick up a point. See, normally this game was being played like last season. Easy, I'll back Man City to win it. And they did last season as well. It was a 4-1 victory to Manchester City last time these two sides faced. But, I feel like Man United, the team, has slowly changed around. Obviously, Erik ten Hag, the new coach, finally getting his team to play some good football, I think. And I'm going to go for, a good game in this one, 2-2. And then we're going to finish off with the final 2 games. We've got the East Midlands derby right at the bottom there, Leicester City against Nottingham Forest. But first, we've got Leeds United against Aston Villa, where Villa, they did pick up a narrow 1-0 victory. Who was it against, actually? It was Southampton in their last game. Leeds United didn't play. Their game was postponed. At home in this one at Ellen Road, it's going to be a tight one. Of course, Aston Villa, wins so far this season. They've been very hard to get. Steven Gerrard could stay still maybe under pressure a little bit. But all 3 points needed for Aston Villa probably to change some things around again with Leeds United. They had a pretty good start to the season, but 2 defeats and a draw in the last 3 games. They need a win soon. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go 1-1. And then we finish off with the final derby of the week, Leicester City against Nottingham Forest. Both sides had a horrid run. Leicester City currently bottom of the table with only 1 point and 6 defeats in their last 6 games. They got smashed 6-2 against Tottenham in their last game. They also lost 5-2 to Brighton as well. Prior to that, they are scoring goals. They're also conceding a ton. And you know what? For the first time this season, I actually think Leicester City is actually going to win a game. They're at home. Nottingham Forest not on the greatest of form. I know you could say that to Leicester, but I'm actually going to think Leicester's going to score some goals in this game as well. Not that it has been a problem for them. They have still scored goals, but I'm going to go for a high scoring, about both sides to score, derby game, but 3-1 Leicester City victory. The first win of the season, and a much needed win as well for them. But again, both sides on some struggling form. Really could be anyone's game. So that's going to wrap up my Game Week 9 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all next time. Bye.